Okay, perfect. Perfect. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dominic, for the opportunity to share knowledge using your platform. Dominic has been a very very good friend of mine from let me say almost 4 years now, and I think the 4 years has really been very very good. So not to take much of our time, what we'll be discussing today is hazard analysis, critical control point system in the food industry. Hazard analysis, critical control point in the food industry. So maybe you need to write whatever you need to write, because so many things I'll be saying that may not you may not find in the PowerPoint, and I may not be able to repeat them as I've said them. So you need to be very fast to take notes and all that. So my name is Iboi Osagie, and we'll be looking at some terms and definition that makes, because we'll be using some words interchangeably that you need to actually know the meaning. Somebody's raising his hand. Then we'll look at management commitments. We also look at prerequisite programs, principles of HACCP, implementation of HACCP. We look at the HACCP plan. We look at the HACCP team. We look at the food safety and HACCP team member responsibility. We look at the decision tree. We look at the HACCP book, then process hazard analysis and critical control points. So we're going to be looking at all these, briefly today. In the next series, we'll now be looking at, doing a real case study of, if, for example, you're a quality manager, and you are being asked, your company just installed a new line, and you are being asked to, carry out a SIP study for that new process line. How will you be able to do it? From getting your team members to flow charting of the process, to using your decision tree to determine the critical control points, the operational prerequisite programs, and to also identifying every risk for each unit operation or each process step, putting up mitigation or controls for each process step, and then what record you need to monitor and how you validate and verify. So it's a skill that you need to equip yourself with if you're going to succeed. I'll call yourself that you actually know what HACCP is all about. Now, food safety hazard, we know what food safety hazard is, or what hazard is. Hazard is anything that can, predispose, your food to contamination and also cause, adverse effect, especially when that food is consumed. So, and your hazard can be biological. When you say biological, that one is about microbial hazards. It could be chemical. When you talk about chemical, you talk about, maybe it might be cleaning agents, sanitizing chemicals, it might be pests, chemicals you use for pest control and all that. Then physical hazards are basically, hazards that are, due to presence of extraneous, material, extraneous material like paper, nail, biro, your hair, they are all things that can cause physical, you classify them as physical hazard. It is very, very important that you know what a flow diagram is, because the flow diagram is actually very, very important, because it's part of your preliminary step that you need to take, before you even start your HACCP study. You need to know what the flow diagram is. And the flow diagram is just schematic flow or representation, of your, process. For example, you want to produce.
Osagie. So I'm getting comments, people saying that you are not audible. I don't know if it is audible by network or
But
just
I can
not.
hear you clearly, Dominic.
Yeah, I can also hear you, but I'm seeing some comments saying voice not audible. You are not audible, but I can actually hear you clearly.
You can hear me very well.
Yeah, I can hear you. That's what I'm not sure. Is it network? Is it the network, or is it that they want you to speak louder? So please just put that comment if you want him to speak louder, or you think it's the network. I'm not sure what. Okay, the voice isn't clear enough. Okay, so maybe it's just for you to speak louder then.
Okay.
Sounding muffled. Yeah, voice not clear. Okay. Yeah, okay, so it's for you to speak louder. Yeah, so you to speak louder.
Okay, so can you hear me now? So for flow diagram is a schematic flow, representing your process. Then there's what a term you call control measure. Control measure are just those action or activity that you put in place that can prevent or eliminate food safety hazard. Mind you, when we're talking about hazard, we're talking about biological, chemical, physical hazard. And some people would even say allergenic hazard. Maybe as a result of allergy, some food are they are allergenic, by nature, and why some really actually inadvertently introduced to it. So control measure from the word control, what you put in place to reduce or eliminate food safety hazard. Then one thing that is very important is prerequisite program. Prerequisite programs are basic conditions necessary.
Yeah, so Osagie, I think yes, it's everybody. So maybe if you have an earpiece there, maybe we should use an earpiece.
I don't have
yeah, or just maybe now we need to speak. So I'm seeing comment like, okay, maybe it's to speak directly into the mic of the system.
Then,
I think
I can hear you clearly, and I'm just almost like on my system right now. Like don't carrying it now, like almost on my system.
So I think okay, so maybe yes.
Okay, somebody's getting me
It's getting you an earpiece. Okay, yeah. So I think with an earpiece. Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Yeah. So I think yes, with an earpiece it will work. I can understand what everyone is saying now. Okay.
So just hold on.
Yeah, because it's clear, like nobody wants to miss any. I don't want to miss one thing, Okay. Yeah. So So Vivian is saying that she really needs to hear you well. So I can imagine the number of people who really need to hear you well. Okay. Okay, so no problem, guys. We'll get it sorted. And Osagie, I made breakfast for you. You're supposed to come here.
Don't worry, just put it inside the refrigerator.
I'll eat it, Baba.
Let me see. Okay, other device. Sorry, I'm trying to connect them.
Yeah, I think yes, if you connect the
to see if I can connect.
Yeah, I think that's it there. IBK, because said I should share it with everybody. Yeah, I think that's it now. Is it not the one? Is it not the one showing paired? I think that, unless it's a different one.
It has a name, so it's not this.
Okay. So just add new Bluetooth, like you get.
Okay, add new.
Like yes, add Bluetooth or other device. I think click the plus button that says add. The one at the top of where you have the blue Bluetooth on. Yes. Let's see if we can manually add it. Yes, so add a device. So yes, Bluetooth. Yes, that one. So if the Bluetooth on the mic is on, then yeah, sure.
Just hold on to be very sure.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, let me increase it different.
So once you can hear me from there, then I think we're good to go then.
Actually, okay. Yeah, can you all hear me now?
Yeah, I think it's better from my side. Let me see what the comments say.
So if you can hear me, let me know. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Yeah, they say it's better now. It's better now. Yes, yes. Everybody's saying better now, better now. So yeah. Are you sure you won't start from food safety hazard again?
I'll just start. Okay, I'll start all over again. So thank God everybody can hear me. So
good.
From what you are seeing on your screen is what we'll be going through today.
Okay, great.
We'll be going through all this today. Then, like I said, there are some times I'll be mentioning, there's some things I'll be saying, and if you don't know the meaning, you may not be able to relate. So that's why I was trying to briefly explain what food safety hazard is, what a flowchart is, what a control measure is, what a prerequisite program is. You know, for a food safety hazard is classified either biological, chemical, or physical, agents in food that can cause or predispose the food to contamination, and which when consumed can cause an adverse effect, on the consumer. So you say such thing is hazardous, and we said hazard can be classified into biological, chemical, and physical, hazards. And some people also classify allergen as an hazard too. Somebody is raising his or her hand. I hope the person is hearing me well. So the next thing is flow diagram. A flow diagram is very, very important because a flow diagram summarizes your process. It summarizes your process from start to finish. You understand? And it's just a schematic representation, or is a diagram that represents, the flow of your process, how one process interacts with the other. So that is what a flow diagram is. Because you're going to be hearing me mentioning flow diagram is actually also part of the preliminary step that you must take before you carry out an hazard studies. Then control measure, as the name depicts, control measure. So what are you measuring? You are measuring something at a particular point, and you are trying to put a control so that you don't exceed the critical limits. So control measure is just any activity that can be used to prevent, hazard, or even reduce it to an acceptable level. In the case it's not able to prevent it totally. Then we talk about prerequisite program. A prerequisite program is just the basic condition and activities necessary to maintain a hygienic environment. And I always use this to explain that no no prerequisite program, no HACCP. Your HACCP is useless without prerequisite program. For example, if you set up a very maybe a $2 billion industry or food industry, you put in all your HACCP, your control and everything without having a toilet. Do you know that one of your staff could go to the toilet and bring in salmonella into the factory? Do you know that if you don't have a prerequisite program, such as pest control, for example, your pests can damage all your finished products in the warehouse? So prerequisite program are just like, those is like the foundation for HACCP. HACCP rests on prerequisite program. HACCP rests on prerequisite program. So I hope we understand the prerequisite program the way I've explained it. Very, very simple. These are the basic things you put in place before your HACCP program can run. So they are the basic hygienic condition that must be met, in your food company before you can say, yes, you want to start producing it. Then we have what you call operational prerequisites, then and critical control points. I'm going to merge the two together. Operational prerequisite program, the thin line between them is both of them, they reduce the likelihood of introducing hazard or totally eliminate the hazard. But the thin line between operational prerequisite program and critical control point is that while for operational prerequisite program, the hazard may not be, there may not be any control along the line that can take away the hazard. But for critical control points, failure at that point will result to a full safety issue because there's no longer a control. Do you understand? That is the thin line between operational prerequisites and critical control points. So critical control points is the point in the food production chain where a failure to apply control will result to a full safety hazard. Are you listening? Failure to apply control will result to full safety hazard. Now for critical control points, you identify a point as critical control point if along the food production line or flow chart, there is no other element or machine that can take care of that hazard. For example, if you are familiar with filling machine in bottling companies, there's what you call bottle burst naturally happens, you know, around the filling machine. So there's what you call intervalve guards. These intervalve guards are actually placed in case if there's a bottle burst, the cracks will not spill, you know, into the finished product. So the intervalve guard itself or the filling machine is a critical control point because if there's a failure at that point, you have glass fragments in your